Durant pull-up jumper off the rim and in. Oh! And the Thunder win! All right, come on, let's sing the Thunder song.
Wait.
When you hear the sound of thunder, don't you get too scared. Just grab your Thunder buddy and say these magic words.
Hello and welcome back to the Thunder Buddies podcast, episode 3. And guess what, Darnell? We got a sponsor this week.
Oh, boy. Goody.
It's now the Bob Moore Ford Thunder Buddies podcast.
Does that mean we get like a free car or something?
I'll take a Ford. Nice
a
little
rental,
Ford truck.
something?
Something. Anyway, preseason's done. We were in Wichita last night, just got back. What did you think of the game? I mean, I know you love watching your boy D Rose out there looking good.
I think the best part was the final buzzer. Preseason is over, and the regular season can begin.
What did you think of Rose's performance? So, I mean, he looked pretty virtuoso, D Rose, last night.
What do I always think of Derrick Rose's performance? I think he's one of the best players in the league, top 3 player. So nothing he does surprises me. I kind of was shaking my head at all the people who really were doubting him coming into this season, and would he be the same? Could he do what he did? I never had a doubt. Derrick Rose set out for a reason, and I think we're going to see the reason this year.
I thought he looked even better last night. He went 4-8 from 3, hit the same amount of threes the Thunder did as a team. I mean, he looks like an improved shooter, a little bit better defender, and then just has the quickness that he's always had. So, but we should probably talk about the Thunder. Preseason's over.
Let's continue to talk about Derrick Rose.
Oh, you would love that. And a little John Wall mixed in. But the Thunder, preseason as a whole, I want to ask you your surprise and disappointment. But at this point, we both know what the surprise is. It's Steven Adams, the hot talking point. We know where you're on this side of things, but first podcast I presented the number 41 meaningful games for Steven Adams. You kind of laughed at me and said lower that to 4. Where are you now after what he's done in the preseason? 41 meaningful games, over, under?
Under,
huh?
I'm not giving him 41 meaningful games.
Are you giving him at least 4?
I'll give him 5.
Oh,
because the first one, Hasheem Thabeet's out. So
he's going to get one.
He's going to get that one. That's one more than I thought he was going to get. So I'll give him – he's going to play. I'll give him that. I think he's going to play. I'm coming around on him. He can play. He's definitely got skills. He does things that no other center in the history of the Thunder franchise has been able to do. So just from that standpoint, I think you have to get him on the floor, but you still have the Scott Brooks effect.
37 points and 40 rebounds in the last 4 games. I mean, he's consistently showing. I mean, and this isn't like preseason NFL where, you know, your backups are facing backups. I mean, he's going against one guys in the league, and he's showing he can do stuff that the other Thunder centers can't. I'll present this question to you. When do you think he becomes a rotation player, and when do you think, because you've already been on the record saying that you think he's eventually going to be their starting center.
Right.
When do you think he's going to take over the starting job?
Next year.
The start of the next season?
Next year, no matter what happens with Kendrick Perkins, whether they trade him, I don't think they'll amnesty him, but if they do, or if he just gets benched and replaced by Steven Adams, one way or another, he's going to get the starting job next year.
Will he be in the rotation at any point this season?
He's so much better, or at least in the preseason, he looked so much better than Hasheem Thabeet that I don't think you can keep him off the floor.
That's what I've been saying. That's why 41 doesn't seem that ridiculous.
You still have the Scott Brooks effect.
Oh, here we go.
Which, if I haven't made myself clear before, Scott Brooks has set more talented guys than Steven Adams. He set Serge Ibaka in favor of Jeff Green. He set James Harden in favor of Thabo Sefolosha. He set Reggie Jackson in favor of Eric Maynard. All those guys are better than Steven Adams. Now, I understand the center position is a weak position. I understand that. But James Harden is a superstar, and he couldn't play over Thabo Sefolosha. Reggie Jackson is an emerging star, and he couldn't play over Eric Maynard until it was clear that knee injury was just too much for him to overcome. Serge Ibaka is the league's leading shot blocker three years running, and he couldn't play over Jeff Green, who couldn't play dead in the post. Well, the Scott Brooks effect is real.
You're the Thunder expert. At that time, within the preseason, was it this obvious that they should get minutes?
No.
Because it seems plainly obvious right now. I mean,
right.
Steven Adams deserves to be in this rotation.
I agree with you, but I'm just basing it on what I've seen 5 years covering this team.
We've talked about it.
Scott Brooks does not play young guys, and I wouldn't be surprised if he stayed with Hasheem Thabeet and Kendrick Perkins as his main centers.
We've talked about it enough. We're on the record with what we think. Let's bring in another Thunder buddy. Well, we got a special guest for us today, Thunder buddy Barry Tramel, columnist at the Oklahoman. What's your thought on Steven Adams in the preseason, and what's your opinion on this entire subject?
I think Steven Adams is so good he needs a nickname. That's what I think.
We've had about 8 people on Twitter try to
Anybody
say
throw out
different.
Kid Kiwi?
That's the best I've heard,
I think
actually. It's the
I
best
think
I've
it's
heard.
very good, but it's the best I've heard too.
I think something has to have Kiwi in it. It has to have. I did see a good nickname, though, because everyone's talking about the Steven Adams bandwagon. Somebody on the chat yesterday said his bandwagon should be renamed the Adams Family. Are you in the Adams Family? I think that's good. But,
I like Adams Family.
But
do they play organ music at the Thunder games?
No, unfortunately not.
Play a little bit of yeah. That'd be pretty good when he comes in the
when
game.
he comes in, the crowd should be going down.
It'd be great.
I like it. But your opinion on Adams?
I think he's beating out the beat right now.
I do too. I mean, you think he's going to play at least, 15, 20 minutes a night, right? Yeah. Oh, geez.
No chance.
I think
they're only going to play a center 32 minutes a night.
Okay.
So Perkins 20,
12,
and then 12.
That's
or 10, 22, and 10, something like that.
I think the only way he's not steadily in the rotation is if they go small more. If you move Ibaka to the 5, play Collison, which they might, and that's the only way. I just don't see how you can say you can just give Thabetis minutes. That's kind of my argument. Let's go to disappointment of the preseason. Everyone's surprised is Adams. Who was your disappointment, Darnell?
I'm going to go with Perry Jones. It's his second year. You would think that he would start to show something and maybe prove people wrong that passed him. I mean, what did he go, 24th overall, something like that in the 20s?
And it was supposed to be a steal.
Yeah, it was supposed to be a steal, and all we see are amazing dunks in the layup line. So Perry Jones, even though his last 2 games against Phoenix and Chicago were pretty encouraging. Well, not so much Chicago. Carlos Boozer lit him up, and Scott Brooks had to take him out. And at the end of the game, he looked awful. But the Phoenix game was encouraging, but you just didn't see enough from Perry Jones, and I just don't know if he has a place on this team.
Yeah, I think the biggest indictment on what they thought of, they're never going to publicly say, we don't think he's part of the future, but the drafting of Andre Robertson, I think, showed you where they kind of viewed him in the future. I mean, he's kind of a similar type player that they think they can groom into the role. They probably thought Perry Jones could fill, but now might not. Thoughts on Perry Jones?
I think it's the ship has sailed. I mean, I've never seen anything out of him. I was like everybody else. We heard a bunch of him at Baylor. But the truth at Baylor is he was better as a freshman than he was a sophomore. So, maybe he can play for somebody in this league. I don't think he can play for the Thunder.
Agreed. My disappointment overall was just the 3-point shooting. I mean, they struggled to shoot. They had one decent game against New Orleans, but other than that, I mean, the stat that's really bad, non-Kevin Durant players shot 23 of 107 from 3 in the preseason. That's 21%. That's not getting it done. You lose Kevin Martin, who made the most threes on the team last year. Westbrook's out. Darnell, I mean, you think this team needs shooting, right?
Yeah, I've gone back and forth with people over at Thunder headquarters about it, gotten into lively, animated discussions and debates about the 3-point shooting or lack thereof. They just don't have the personnel on this team right now. Thabo Cephalosha, streaky. Reggie Jackson, streaky. Russell Westbrook, streaky. So Kevin Durant is your best 3-point shooter. No more Kevin Martin. Derek Fisher, you're hoping that he can make shots, but how many minutes is he going to play, especially while Westbrook is out? They got to try to preserve him a little bit. So they just got some issues from a personnel standpoint in terms of 3-point shooters.
They're going to need Lamb to shoot at a higher clip than it looks like he's going to. And then Jackson, he's shot 20-something% of his career. It looks improved, but I mean, it doesn't look improved to the point where you're real comfortable giving him it.
Reggie Jackson can't shoot, so I don't know why you're worried about that. To me, Lamb's going to have to make some shots. He's going to make some shots, or this team is not going to be as good as it could be. And I think Derek Fisher is actually going to be in a completely different role than he originally was brought in for. He's the new Daquan Cook. He's Daquan Cook. He comes in, goes stand and make some threes for us and get everybody loosened up. I mean, that's going to be his role, be Daquan Cook. Because let me tell you what OKC could use right now. Daquan Cook.
You got confidence in Fisher being able to be a Daquan Cook type?
Yes, although I like Daquan Cook, he wasn't that great.
I was going to say Daquan Cook is probably top 5 worst defenders in the NBA. from.
Well, yeah, Fisher has his moments on defense.
That's what I'm saying.
So he could play a little. So I think
no
Fisher will.
but
I think Fisher can really help this team that way and play maybe 7 minutes a stretch, play 14 minutes a game, 2 7-minute stretches.
yeah, especially early in the year with how
I think that's what we'll see out of him. Now what Scotty's got to do is not fall in love with Derek Fisher the way he likes to and play.
Good luck with that.
and play down the stretch. He likes to put him in with 9 minutes to go and let him play the rest of the game. I'm not sure you can do that. But yeah, Jeremy Lamb to me is the disappointment of the preseason because he has not shown that he's in a slump, or he hasn't shown that he's
because he's never had a hot streak.
We've never seen him make a shot. Last season, I was sitting by RFD at all these games. I kept saying, when's Jeremy Lamb going to do something? Every time he plays in his all-in mop-up, but he couldn't make a shot in ball games.
Hey, Barry, I know you're an honorary Thunder buddy.
Yes.
And you have an open invitation.
Yes.
But you might want to explain to the people what RFD means.
Well, they know it's you. Everybody knows that. Mayberry RFD. Mayberry RFD.
Good, just so there's no confusion.
Well, along
Same
with
with AC Slater.
that one's pretty self-explanatory. If you know Saved by the Bell, then you know you're not.
Well, if you know anything about Andy Griffith, you know Mayberry RFD. And let me tell you, in the pantheon of television shows, Andy Griffith trumps Saved by the Bell.
Maybe for the 35 and up crowd.
I was going to say.
And the
I don't know
35
what
and
you're
under
talking
crowd,
about.
for anybody, for any crowd.
I'm not part of that crowd. But along with your Lamb point, I mean, you had to be, like you said, he struggled all preseason, but you had to be impressed last night. National TV,
Very pleased with him.
9-16.
Aggressive, scored on the floating and the paints, and got some breakouts and went to the basket. I was more encouraged by him last night than at any point in the 1 year that he's been a Thunder.
You know what impressed me the most about him last night? No, his transition game. He got out in transition,
did.
and you can see Reggie Jackson,
that's
Jeremy
right.
Lamb, that connection. When Russell comes back and Reggie can move to the bench, Reggie and Jeremy Lamb got a nice little chemistry there.
He's about as smooth as it gets around the rim with his left and right hand. He can. I mean,
You can tell he's skilled.
Yeah.
He's a skilled basketball player, and he's tall. He's taller than everybody thinks. He's 6'6", got long arms. It's all there. If he could learn to make a shot, and that's what we thought he was a shooter.
Well, that's the funny thing is he's billed as a sharp shooter, but he's really doing a lot of other things well, and his shooting's been,
And to me, that's encouraging.
It is.
It is encouraging because if you're not going to be a shooter, you better do something else.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to some season predictions. Quick, the easy one. What's your Thunder wins total and seed in the Western Conference?
Let's start with you, Barry.
Well, I got 54 wins for the Thunder. Now, if Russell Westbrook comes back before December 1st, I'd say every week that he comes back less than 6 weeks, you can add a victory to that.
Just
He's come
one?
back. Yeah, well, I mean, if he comes back in 3 weeks instead of 6 weeks, go up to 57.
I got you.
So, I mean, but if it's 6 weeks, I'm going to stay at 54, and I'll say that puts the Thunder at 4th or 5th. They'll be 4th or 5th. I haven't really studied that part of it.
They're going to be in the mid-50s.
Yeah,
I think
I
56.
agree.
56 is the number I'm going to go with. Probably second seed in the West behind San Antonio.
I agree with
Second,
that.
boy, you generally need more than 56 wins
No,
to be the
West
number
is
2
gonna be
seed.
tough
it's going to be a
this year,
I
gauntlet.
know, but it's always tough, though.
I think it's tougher this year than it's been in recent years.
56 last year got you tied for 4th and 5th.
We'll see.
Yeah.
Okay, along the lines of that, then, Westbrook's return date. When do you think he's going to return?
Well, you didn't give us your number.
I would say I agree with you. I think it's going to be about mid-50s. I think they're going to be a 2-3 seed. I don't think they dip to 4. They got an easy early schedule. That's
True. Now, that is a break. Yeah.
So, and honestly, throughout, they got a pretty, the schedule breaks pretty easily, not many back-to-backs, no long road trips.
Right.
In that way, I think it helps them. Westbrook's return date, what are you guys on the record saying?
I say December 1st. I don't think I called a guy Wolverine for a reason. Reggie Jackson was talking the other day about how he was kissing the rim while he was dunking. I don't believe it.
Bit of an over-exaggeration
I don't
by
believe
Reggie,
it.
I think.
But the guy has incredible genes, and his health has been phenomenal throughout his career. So I think he's going to have a speedy recovery. I think he's going to be back by December 1.
Well, I said December 11th against the Grizzlies. That was before the Reggie Jackson prognosis. So,
which I don't think Thunder PR was too
nah,
pleased about.
They can get over that. So I mean, I'll stick with that since that's what's coming out in the Thunder special section. But it would be nice, like I said, the sooner the better. And I think there's a chance, and we talked about this. There's a chance the Thunder slow played, underplayed the recovery time for Russell Westbrook. Don't want to get, everybody's got a little dicey over the Derrick Rose thing.
Yeah.
Don't want to put up pressure on a player.
I think they like you said, slow played it, put a long timetable on it. But I think they're going to almost stick to that long timetable. He may be, by December 1st, he may be like, okay, I'm ready to play. I wouldn't be surprised if they held him out 2 more weeks just to make sure. I put December 13th against the Lakers at home on ESPN. He seems like the kind of guy that's going to want to come back on a bright stage and, show, like, look, I'm back.
If he wants a bright stage, come back 2 days earlier. Memphis is a brighter stage than the Lakers.
I don't know. You want to take that knee?
They need Russell Westbrook against the Grizzlies. I know there's no evidence to support that theory, but they could really use him against Memphis.
Or as an injured guard, though, would you rather come back and you're driving the lane facing Marc Gasol and that defense, or would you rather, hey, Steve Nash guard me tonight? Oh, my knee's feeling pretty good.
Well, maybe the Memphis will maybe keep him grounded. L.A. he can act like he's on a trampoline. Nobody will get in his way.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, better question for that. When do you think he'll be Russell Westbrook again? How long do you?
Good question.
I mean, I guess we don't really know.
I think it'll take him a month to get his rhythm and timing back. I don't worry about his skills. I mean, I think he's got the skills, and I just worry about his rhythm and timing. He's got confidence. You never have to worry about that guy's confidence. But if he can get his rhythm back in a month, I think he's going to be good.
I would say Russell athletically is going to look fine. I think the problem with him coming back and the cohesion thing is with his teammates and chemistry and working with Reggie Jackson and working with Steven Adams and working with whoever. To me, that's where the adjustment period's going to come. I think when he comes back, they're not going to let him play unless he's ready to go, and he's just going to start flying through the air like always. But the working within the concept of the team, both offensively and defensively.
Yeah, but Barry, he hadn't played since what? April? Late April?
Late April.
So April 24th, I think it was. That's a long time to sit out when you're a basketball player. Anything, but
yeah, but I mean,
it'll take him a while to get back.
He's been practicing. He's dunking. He's gotten his lips on the rim, according to Reggie Jackson. So I mean, I think he's getting into that to some degree.
Yeah, I mean, we see him out in practice every day. He's doing his dribbling. I mean, he's still.
But it's a big difference between practice and basically standstill shooting, which is pretty much the extent of what he's doing.
I'll just say,
and playing in an NBA game.
When I sit on the couch and watch football for a week and then eat all week and then go play, that's when I kind of, you struggle with your rhythm. This guy is still in the gym, working on skill work, working on shots, doing everything like that. So I think pretty soon after he comes back, he's going to be back to himself, and definitely by late in the season playoffs. So, all right, how about this question? When's the date that Kevin Durant will first be linked to going to the Lakers in rumors? Because it's going to happen. It was Rockets yesterday.
Has it not already
happened?
happened?
I was going to say, it may be in the past, not in the future.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
Although, probably in serious tones, it would be after the free agent signings of next summer. Because if they load up, if they get LeBron and whoever, they, then the talk about them getting Durant's going to dissipate. But if they're still sort of bereft of superstars, then people will all of a sudden fast forward to, in 16, Durant comes free.
Okay, over under number of teams he'll be linked to in the next 3 years.
Well, just now on my online chat, someone wrote and said he didn't put much stock in the Houston rumor, or the Houston prediction, but he does think there's a good chance that Durant will leave and sign with Minnesota. So, and his point was Monica be up there, which I told him. No great assurance that she's still going to be with Minnesota. There's not even a great assurance in 2016 that there'll be a WNBA, so let's not get too worked up. But I'd say 27, 26, 25, something like that.
Yeah.
Everybody's going to talk about it.
Everybody wants him, but the number is really 5.
Yeah.
The 2 New York teams, the 2 LA teams, in Chicago. It's those 5 teams.
Well, I mean, Miami. You can't.
Maybe Miami.
There'll be a couple other ones that kind of come out. Oh, they're clearing cap space.
Or San Antonio. I mean, I would never throw out the Spurs.
Hey, you're like, hey, the Wizards. Hey, he's coming home.
He did say that. I was
Oh,
up there
no,
in
of
June.
course,
He
of
said
course.
it. He
He
said
said
it.
it. He said it.
What exactly did he say?
A little kid asked him if you could play for any team other than the Thunders, and he did say Thunders.
I like the word Thunders.
So does my mother-in-law. But Kevin Durant said in front of a room full of people, I would love to play for the Washington Wizards.
Well, there you
Come
go.
back home and play for the Washington Wizards.
There you go.
Put it on the blog. It's up there. He's going to the Wizards. Or, another team, Toronto Raptors. Isn't he like a lifelong Raptor? Or not lifelong, but he liked the Vince Carter
he liked
Raptors.
the Vince Carter, yeah.
Nobody wants to play in Toronto. Tax structure gets you.
That's true. Okay. Most points scored by Kevin Durant in a game this season. Quick answer. And who's it going to be against?
63, Charlotte.
63 points.
That's
Why not? Hey, it's Kevin Durant.
I was going to say 51. I don't know. Who do they play early that can bog down the defense bog down the Thunder offense and make Durant take a bunch of shots on a night when he's really hot? How about
He's had some big games against Minnesota. But they got Corey
Yeah,
Brewer
he
now.
does.
Corey Brewer can't stop him, but he can do a decent job.
I
on
got
it.
him.
How about the Clippers? How about the Clippers on the 13th of November?
That's a pretty bad defensive team. I
Oh,
like
here
that
he
pick.
goes.
Clippers on the
Here he
13th.
Don't they
goes.
try to stick Jamal Crawford on him? See how that works out, Slater.
You know who I got? By the way, I'm no commenting that. There's no need to comment that. I got Denver. They lost Corey Brewer and they got Anthony Randolph. And we saw, in
It's a good selection.
what was it,
And they
like
lost
23
Iguodala,
minutes?
too.
He scored
Yeah.
in about 23
Yeah,
minutes. he had
Denver's a
about
good one.
36
Denver's a
points.
good one.
That's the team. I
Gallinari
think.
might be on. Is he back? Was he going to be back?
I don't think he's back.
A limping
He's not back.
Gallinari
He's not
may be better than an Anthony Randolph.
back. He was terrible.
Yeah. All right. Some league-wide questions. Who's your MVP dark horse? I'm on the record saying I think Durant's going to win MVP. So are you. I don't know. Who is your MVP?
I think I said LeBron James.
Okay, I mean, those
I
are
don't know what's become of the young lad, but he might still be in the league.
He's a solid player. But those are the two that are kind of, who anyone's picking, basically. Who's a dark horse beyond those two?
Tony Parker.
You going to explain?
Well, I think there's a chance San Antonio has the best record in the league again. Parker's a wonderful player. At some point, those guys got to dip, but if they keep winning 60 games, somebody's going to give them some love.
I don't consider Derrick Rose a dark horse because he's already won the thing. But from what I saw last night, he's back to that form where he's already won an MVP. So there's no reason I don't think he can win the MVP. I think the Bulls are going to have a really good regular season record.
Good to see you coming around.
Well, I still don't think I don't think they're getting by the Heat in the playoffs. I think they can beat the Pacers, but I think the Heat want to face the Bulls. They do not want to face the Pacers. I've said that
Let me
before.
tell you something. Chicago's good.
Thank you.
They got them a ball team.
And a ball
I don't
player.
think.
Let me tell you who wants to play Chicago in the playoffs. Nobody.
You don't want to. Okay, who would the Heat rather play, the Pacers or the Bulls?
I think they'd rather play the Pacers.
I don't agree.
Great day.
You throw LeBron on Rose, and the Bulls struggle to score. They just do.
Well, maybe they do, but you throw Chicago on the court, and Miami struggles to score.
You know what happened? You know what LeBron did so well against Rose when he had success against him in the
Be
playoffs?
LeBron.
No, he backed off of him. Rose couldn't shoot. As you mentioned, you saw Rose's
He was
jumper
improved
improve
jumper
last night. I don't think you can back off of Derrick Rose
watching that
anymore.
team
The
last
Heat
night.
hound teams, though.
So do the
so do
Bulls.
the Bulls. I just think the Heat have more to go to offensively. Chris Bosh has looked really good in the preseason. Greg Oden dunked last night. We'll get
Yes, a 7'2" guy dunked. Stop the presses.
Hey, it's been 4 years.
Hey, our 7'2" center can dunk.
Oh, I think they're a lot more worried about Roy Hibbert and the Pacers. That's just me. And then Kyrie Irving's my dark horse.
Oh, you stole
Kyrie
mine.
Irving.
You stole
All right,
mine.
I don't think he's going to win the MVP this year, but I think he's a dark horse as far as he's going to jump into the conversation where people are like, well, watch out. Like, he's a guy that, has a shot. He won't win it, but in the future, he's going to win an MVP in this league.
Here's a guy. Now, I didn't say him because he's not a dark horse, but if you're saying anybody past the first two, to me, it's clearly Chris Paul. The Clippers could win a bunch of games, and he's their best player and a great player. He could be the MVP easily.
Yeah. I got a guy. Since you stole mine, I'll give you another one. Steph Curry.
Yeah, I like
The
Steph Curry.
internet loves him. The voters love him. Basketball, media, everyone loves him.
Does his ankle love him, though?
Yeah, and when you said it, Kyrie and Steph Curry, they both have those injury concerns, so you never know if they can play 70, 75 games. But if they can put up numbers and they can do it in impressive fashion to where they're going to get a lot of attention.
Okay. 5 teams. I'm going to give you 5 teams in the Western Conference. Which one doesn't make it out of the first round? Thunder, Spurs, Clippers, Grizzlies, Rockets. One of them is not making it out of the first round. Which one is it? Barry Tramel.
I'll go Rockets. I'm not
I
that
agree
big
with
on the
you.
Rockets.
Rockets.
We're all in
I
agreement.
mean,
here.
I think that Dwight Howard's a fine addition, but he doesn't elevate them that much because they had a very solid center, especially defensively in Osik. So, I mean, I think Houston will win 50-something games, but I think there's a very good chance they'll be fifth and not get out of the first round.
And we've seen in the last 3-4 years, you bring these star teams together, it takes them a while to mesh. I mean, they struggle to figure themselves out, at least for a year. The Heat.
Houston's at its best when it runs.
Yeah.
And now they went out and hired and signed a guy who's best when you don't run.
Plus, I mean, there's a ton of good teams in the West, so they're going to have a tough first-round matchup. And
They better hope they don't get the Warriors in the first round. I don't think they want to see the Warriors. They can run with them, they can shoot with them, and they play better defense or have the potential to play better defense.
I got a question then for Barry because I know in your special section you picked the Grizzlies to come out of the West.
Yeah, what's
Well,
up
which
with
was a
that?
surprise.
About the Grizzlies. What's not to love about the Grizzlies?
Them letting
Their
go of
offense.
one of their best coaches in the league
And their offense.
and their offense.
I think they knew something that not everybody knew. I think they knew where their coaching acumen came from.
What's that guy's name? I don't even know his name.
Got his name myself, but they liked him. But they like Jaeger or something like that.
Dave Yeager or something like
Yeah,
that?
something like that.
Yeah.
But I think they like him. And they got him a tough team.
What's his name, Slater? Did you find
Dave
it?
Yeager.
Dave
but it's
Yeager.
spelled
Well, how
like
about that?
Joerger.
Yeah. So I think they like him, and I think they got all that defense back, and then they added Mike Miller, which won't hurt. So, in the playoff now they got.
You think they can beat the Thunder in a 7-game series, or even the Spurs in a 7-game series? You think they can beat them?
Well, they dang near beat the Thunder in
And they got
11.
smoked by the
In 7.
Spurs last
Went
year.
7. Now, they did
What do you
get
think of
smoked.
the sweep last year? I mean, the Spurs sweeped them.
Well, I mean, I think
pretty
Memphis is doing a lot like what the Thunder did, which is they're ascending
Getting
step
better
by
every year.
step.
Yeah.
So
They
now
can
I
play
think
defense.
Thunder Grizzlies with Westbrook would be a fantastic series. But
I'd pick the Thunder in 5 in that
you would?
series.
Okay. Well, I hope you're right. I hope it's.
Look how close it was last year
it was
without
close.
Westbrook.
But I mean, the Grizzlies play close games because
They
all
do.
their games are defense. So and nobody's getting to 110. So I like the makeup of their team.
Okay. I think this is going to be an easy question to answer, but I'm still going to say it. 5 teams in the Eastern Conference. Who's not making it out of the first round? Heat, Bulls, Pacers, Nets, Knicks. Who's not making it out of the first round?
Knicks.
Agreed. I mean, sadly, Carmelo's going to waste another year there.
I don't think the Knicks are making it out of the first round, but I'm not sure the Nets will either. I'm not big on the Nets.
You don't like their coach.
Well,
I think he's fine. He just
I'll
who has
just
any
say
idea if he can coach?
I was going to say you can't really like or dislike him as a coach yet.
It's like inviting him over for.
You're saying another first-year coach in Memphis is going to go to the freaking finals.
Memphis guy's been coaching. Jason Kidd's
So
never
is Jason
coached.
Kidd.
What do you
Jason
mean he's
Kidd
been coaching?
spent his whole career coaching on the floor.
On the floor is different. Guess what? Somebody like Jason Kidd's likely to do. He's going to run out there and bring the ball up court.
He's got Frank Lawrence right next to him. He's got help.
Lawrence Frank is actually the guy's name.
I don't know Dave Yeager. I don't know Frank Lawrence.
Frank Lawrence.
Who is
Frank Lawrence
Where'd I get
sounds
that
more
from?
like a
Lawrence Frank.
I'm just
Frank
not big
Lawrence.
on that. And they could be old. I mean, they could be Lakers 2.1.
Okay,
They could be.
quickly before we get out of here, a couple finals questions. 2-2-1-1-1, which they announced they switched to that format now. What are your thoughts on it, Barry?
I
first.
think it's absurd. I think it's the height of absurdity. There's nothing wrong with 2-3-2. They just want to put a bunch more people in the air. bunch more plane trips. I don't get it.
You know what my thought is? I mean, I'm not necessarily too concerned about if it's 2-2-1-1-1 or 2-3-2. I just the entire playoffs need to have the same format every round.
I'm with you, and I think all the
if you
playoffs
want to
ought
do
be
2-3-2 everywhere, that's fine. If you want to do 2-2-1-1-1 everywhere, I mean, I'm fine with that too. Just I'm glad that there's a uniform thing throughout the playoffs now.
My beef is this: they act like having 4 home games instead of 3 is no great advantage. That's where the advantage lies. Who cares what order they go in? If you got Game 7 at home, that should be enough, no matter what the format is. So I